On to other newspapers now. The national economy says here federal government grants 1.3 trillion naira import duties, VAT waivers in 8 years, as according to the national economy. The Nation newspaper says Zulum, let's battle Boko Haram with mercenaries. Buhari gives marching orders to wipe out insurgents. Bandits kill 7 farmers, abduct 30 in Katsina. Daily Times says federal government bemoans arms freeze against Nigeria in combating Boko Haram. The Daily Sun says rise farmers killing. Villagers leak information to Boko Haram according to military. The writer says presidency slain farmers didn't get clearance to go to the fields. We move to Business Day. As recession bites, Nigerians hold 2021 budget to critical scrutiny. The Vanguard newspaper is saying here, Borno massacre, why Nigerians at mercy of terrorists, according to Lai Mohammed. So the Blueprint is saying here, Zulum to Buhari on insurgents, hire mercenaries to clear entire Sambisa forest. Bandits deceived slain farmers, DHQ, blamed civilians for setbacks, faults UN's 110 claim. So we'll stick with this newspaper, this one in the Blueprint newspaper. Zulum to Buhari on insurgent, hire mercenaries to clear entire Sambisa forest. So we'll discuss this at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, or lady and gentlemen. So let's talk about this now. What do you think? First of all, there's been the dilly-dallying around. 43 people were killed, 110 persons were killed. What's all of this?
First of all, if one life is lost due to whatever reason in a country, it's a cause for alarm. But we're talking of more. At the first instance, they said 40-something. But for a UN organization that came out to say, look, they're more than 100. Mm-hmm. And that's when we heard nothing again. I mean, it's, as we said before now, is lying a statecraft now. That's by the side. But then again, you look at losing farmers, citizens who went out to earn a living, dying on their farms, their throats slit. In a time of peace, is Nigeria at peace? So what has happened to the military? Running after peaceful protesters and leaving insurgents and terrorists. What has happened to the Inspector General of Police who say we will not allow protesters anymore? What's about what you're allowing? Banditry and kidnapping. I said it earlier that the state of security in Nigeria calls for an emergency. It is no longer safe to move from a town to another in Nigeria. It's either students are being kidnapped on their way to school, or farmers, as we can see now, are being kidnapped on their farms.
Farmers are being kidnapped and killed in their farms. We're heading towards a period of food insecurity.
We already have a crisis with onions. Mm-hmm. Now it's rice farmers. And I've been saying it that it's not only insecurity, but we're having the whole entire gamut of it. Food insecurity is creeping on us. And then the presidency says they did not get permission to go to the farm. It is outrageous. The question is, since when? Let me use the street part.
Once they get permission.
Must farmers get permission before going to the farms? It is just depressing, disappointing, and utterly, you know, it's so disappointing. How do you manage a nation like this? How? These spokesmen, how do you?
No, my problem is this. One incident and 3 different reasons from different wings of the same executive arm of government. Government spokesperson went on to blame the farmers for not obtaining permits. And as she said, I don't now know when that has become a vital part of life. No matter what anybody may tell me, it smacks of insensitivity. Number 2, the minister went on to say that foreign countries have refused to sell weapons to Nigeria. Is he just waking up to realize that? If he had said this on Thursday or last Wednesday, maybe I would have understood. If Sheikh Garba had also said that the farmers should not go to farm until they are permitted by the military, maybe I will understand. And to worsen matters, the French headquarters now started blaming the people.
Yes,
for not cooperating
in
with
the
them.
Daily Sun, it says...
Since when have they become the source of intelligence for the DHQ?
And the Daily Sun is saying here, villagers leak information to Boko Haram.
Now, the same Boko Haram is saying they're dealing with them because they've been telling on them to the military. So the people are right in the middle of this side and that side.
Now, you can see that the people are not even safe. If you are now blaming them for leaking information to Boko Haram, how do they get the information? These are questions. We're not talking of roadside issues now. We're talking of national security. We're talking of defense headquarters, not a private security company. Okay? So if things can be that lax, and then they are now blaming the people, then we've lost it. So
do we need mercenaries to fight?
No, wait. We have said this before. In modern warfare, or the kind of war we are facing, which for me is a war of attrition, everything possible should be brought to bear in ensuring that we win. Unfortunately, it has taken us over a decade and trillions of naira, money that will have been used to develop the country. Lives have been so mercilessly lost. Again, it was very painful when we read 43, only for them to say 110. The question is government now going to be leading us with lies? Perhaps we can say, okay, maybe there might be causes for them to tweak issues, but not when it comes to human lives. And these guys had enough time to, one by one, slit the throats of their victims. I mean, you can go on and on. I didn't sleep at all in the night. Why? I was asking questions. How are we going to get out of this mess?
Exactly.
Yes, which way? I mean, because everything that we have, all the counsels, all the advices that we have offered, nobody is looking in that direction. And things are, I mean, then you wonder, the same government said Boko Haram has been technically decimated and annihilated. If my English is anything to go by, when a person is annihilated, that means they have no spine again, and then they cannot do any harm. But what do we have? They keep doing maximum harm. In a way that you will see that they are better armed than Nigerian forces, and they also have strategy, whereby when they strike hard. It's unfortunate. They should be the ones recording massive losses in terms of personnel. Yes. Not the Nigerian army, professional army, well trained to protect the territory that occupied by 200 million people.
You see, this is what I'm saying about our service. This has renewed the call for our service chiefs to be changed. You haven't delivered. This is not
We've had service chiefs over the years.
Yes, but
and we are still in this
quagmire.
Nothing has happened. Nigerians are calling for a change of service chiefs, number one. Number two, this is what happens when there's a conflating of functions, right? Military, face territorial integrity. You had no reason to be at Lekki. So that we're talking about whether it's a Lekki killing or a Lekki massacre. Where the massacre was happening, the military did not go there. Now, the police, we don't even know what they're doing.
Now, let me tell you, as far as I'm concerned, we were told that they were appointed, the service chiefs, on merit. But when you place their performance, since they were appointed, okay, against disasters that we had suffered, will you, in all honesty, okay, with the fear of God in you,
say they've performed,
agree that, oh yes, there is merit? It becomes an issue for me when the chief of army staff, for over 3 years, has not been able to visit his hometown. And the governor of Borno State admitted, was it last week, that a part of his state, a greater part for that matter, is under Boko Haram's administration.
Not when he's even been attacked. He's been attacked personally.
Maybe you saw him lying on the road. Within 48 hours, he was attacked twice. And then they killed his entourage.
His aides, yes.
So it called for sober reflection. Unfortunately, as always, the saccharine promises have started flying.
We will do
Buhari
this.
talking talk. So who has talking talk heads? Is it about talking talk?
What will help? Will the rejigging of the security architecture
How
help
many
this
times are we going to be calling for the rejigging of the architecture, security architecture of Nigeria?
Can we not get it right once and for all?
What will be the new thing that will come from rejigging the architecture? Because we've had several regimes.
Maybe I should start consulting for the army. To start with, they should re-strategize. Whatever strategy they have in place so far has not delivered. It has not worked.
And we've lost so many lives. So you don't
continue doing the same thing the same way and expect a different result. And in working out strategies, you need human beings. If there are people within without the military, private people, civilians that you know can help, bring them in. It's not just about coming out to tell tales by the moonlight, sorry that touch the heart. We are tired of that. Number 3, if in the wisdom of the president, the services must continue. Okay, let them continue, but let them come up with a new game plan to let them convince us. They are being maintained and paid by with our resources.
Money, yes.
So let them tell us the new game plan that they have moving forward. I've said 3 now.
They are not supposed to really release their game plan.
They should let us, because see, they cannot continue like this. Because what the picture I'm getting is that we are losing ground to Boko Haram.
No, we've lost ground.
Again,
let's not
when I remember that Boko Haram, when they were asked to negotiate with the Nigerian government, they nominated President Buhari then to be their spokesperson. You remember? Yeah. Again, he became president, and what have we been seeing? Arrested Boko Haramites will be assembled. They say they have been debriefed, and then they are now returned to join the military or to go back and sin no more. Not once, not twice. These same characters have been responsible for attacks.
The question then is, what has the granting of amnesty, what impact has it had on this fighting of against Boko Haram?
Especially when they
and then again, we talk about the issue of discipline within the Nigerian army itself, the military. Because you recall that once upon a time, the U.S. military came to help.
Offer technical support.
Yes, and they left. They said each time they planned, it will leak.
I know.
So who's leaking? And why? Who are the funders? One question that I have today, who are the funders of Boko Haram? We need CBN. We need CBN to find out for us, just as they found out for the NSAS. As quickly, because it's taking years.
We have said this before, that the lifewire of terrorism is funds, logistics.
Exactly.
I don't think why it's taking us a lifetime to identify the sources. That's their lifewire, the sources of funding and journalism for Boko Haram. Well, if you can arrest that or cut it, put an end to it, I can assure you, in hours, they will be out and dry.
Well, the military has given a fresh, the presidency has given a fresh order for the military to go in. And
it's not about talking tough.
Fresh order.
There are other issues that must be considered. You can give 1,000,001 orders. The question is, how will they be carried out?
It's not effective.
Especially when they are saying now, they are admitting that the minister said they do not have the equipment to work with. How do you send a workman to the farm or to the factory without adequately and properly?
And even that I puncture, because Nigeria has spent so much money buying arms and ammunition for the fight against terrorism. So when I hear such argument that they do not have the arms to fight, I'm asking, where has all the billions of naira gone to?
But over time, we've seen videos of security personnel complaining. Lack of weapons, feeding,
so
water.
Then we can safely say there's a huge level of corruption in this fight against terrorism.
Absolutely.
And just as in other facets of the economy, if you do not tackle the corruption in the army or in the fight against terrorism in Nigeria, especially Boko Haram, we will not win this fight. And we will continue to see Nigerians losing their lives, going about their legitimate work. That's what it means.
So let me tell you, if you know the North the way I do, especially Borno State, I've had cause to traverse Borno State. Particularly Chibok, Boni, Yadi, Galambo, those places. And I remember the kind of love that we enjoyed amongst the people. And then these people are the ones now being decimated badly. They've been rendered homeless. Wives have become widows. Husbands have lost their wives. Children have lost their parents. They become orphans. And then life has become very meaningless. Okay? The question is, what is government even doing? Because the IDPs, where they are not any happier, I mean, than when they were in their different homes. More attention is being focused now on the breed or the radicalized Boko Haram fighters. You see, these are issues that we must begin to tackle. We can't keep quiet.
And it has been Borno all the way. I think these insurgents are trying to take over a state in Nigeria. We must not let that happen. Because once it happens, they move to another state and then begin to conquer.
It's an expansion.
So it means that we should have an expanded security apparatus such that it affects every other state.
I will tell you, the farmers that were murdered, were they Christians or Muslims?
Okay. We need to find out.
Exactly, because when you say it's a religious war, who has done
it's over time, it's shown that it's not
it's no longer a religious war.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for talking to us on this. It's been interesting discussing this with you. Thank you so much for talking to us.